Here.
Mark Mike Burns.
Here.
Rick Lynn. Bob McAfee.
Here.
Jim Guzzi.
Here.
Roger Spencer. Don Allen.
Will you all please stand and join me in our pledge of allegiance and the invocation? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gracious God, as we come to you this day to begin the session of the Carl Junction Board of Alderman, we ask that you impart upon us your wisdom and guidance that we can promote justice, assist those in need, and provide for the overall well-being of the citizens of Carl Junction. Amen.
Thank you, Gary. Next is approval of the agenda. Are there any comments or changes to the agenda?
Make a motion, we approve the agenda as type.
I'll second it.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Mike Burns to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative with 2 absent. The agenda is approved. Next is the consent agenda, which is the approval of the minutes of last meeting on January 4th and the closed session on December 21st. And also approval of disbursements. Are there any comments or corrections to the consent agenda?
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Bob McAfee to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative with 2 absent. The consent agenda is approved. Next is public forum. Would anyone like to speak at public forum? This will probably be your only chance. I'd like to get somebody to come up here and talk. If you want last call for public forum. Very well, then we'll move on. Okay, next I have in my possession someplace here 2 letters from employees that are retiring. It says resignation, but really I guess I'd say it's a retirement resignation. So from one from our city clerk, Beth Matney, is going to retire on the 31st of January. And she's been here with over 30 plus years. Thank you very much. But the next item is going to let you stay on for a little bit longer, it looks like. And also our city treasurer, Ruby Dunn. She's been working for the city for 48 years. She's the widow of Bill Dunn, our late fire chief that the fire department's on. She's done a real good job for us as treasurer. So she's going to retire at the end of the month, too. Anything else I need to do?
Well,
I need to have them accept the retirement.
I think you should take a motion to accept the letters.
Okay, very good.
I'll
And
make
you can
a
do it
motion.
separately or in this case.
I think I'll just do it together since I
you
read
can
them
do it
both together.
There's no problem.
To make a motion, we accept both resignations.
Retirement resignations.
Yes.
Second.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Bob McAfee to accept both of the resignation retirement letters from the city treasurer and the city clerk. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative with 2 absent. Their retirement has been accepted. Next, I wish to appoint Mary Beth Matney as our city treasurer. And I will need a motion effective
February 1.
February
12/01, February 1st. 12:01 a.m., February 1st.
Yeah, we want to see you in here then at that time.
So moved. Was that, did we have?
Yes.
Okay, so moved.
I'll
I'll
second it.
second that.
Motion by Gary Stubblefield, second by Mike Burns to approve my appointment of Mary Beth Matney as city treasurer on February 1st. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative, 2 absent. I guess you're going to be our treasurer.
Thank you.
I don't know if that's a congratulations or what. Okay, next is the election of a new city clerk. This is done
Again, effective.
effective 12:01 a.m. February 1st, 2022. I forgot to say 2022 in the last one. Okay, and this is an election by the Board of Alderman. So I will need to have a nomination for city clerk and a second, and then you guys will vote on the nominations.
Make a motion, Elena.
Okay, Elena Wright has been nominated. Do we need a second on nomination?
You don't have to have a second, but at some point you need to close.
You'll need to close the nominations at one point. Are there any other nominations?
Move we close the nominations.
Motion by Roger Spencer, motion by Mark Satterley to close the nominations. All those in favor of Lynn Wright being our new city clerk at 12:01 a.m. on February 1st, 2022, please raise your right hand. 6-0 affirmative. Congratulations.
Very good.
Okay. Moving right along. Next, we have approval of bids for striping Briarbrook Drive. I believe you guys probably had 2 bids in front of you. We got the first one, I guess, about a month ago? And that's when I fell out of my chair and told him to go get another one.
Yep, we got the 2 of them in, one from Advanced Work Zone and the other from Springfield Striping. Advanced Work Zone, considerably cheaper, $8,120 to restripe Brewery Drive from
Casey's to Lakeside.
Lakeside.
That includes 2 yellow stripes in the middle and 2 white sides, a white stripe on each side of the road.
Yep.
As soon as weather permits.
As soon as weather permits.
No passing zones in there?
Don't think so.
Double yellow, so no pass.
Double yellow, so there's no passing. Yeah.
That's right.
Anybody want to make a comment, or should we just have a motion to accept the bid of whichever one we decide? I guess, Steve, you're recommending we take the one from
I'd recommend Advanced Work Zone.
Advanced Work Zones bid. Okay.
I'll move that we accept the bid from Advanced Work Zones to double stripe Briarbrook Drive for the price of $8,120.
Very good.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mark Sadler, second by Mike Burns to accept the bid of $8,100 and whatever it is, $20 to stripe Briarbrook Drive with 2 yellow stripes and a white stripe on each side. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative with 2 absent. The bid by, what's her name again?
Advanced Work Zone.
Advanced Work Zones is approved. Okay, next on the agenda is approval of bids for 2 police vehicles. One of them's the,
And I'll let the chief talk about it.
okay, yeah, Mark, you're going to talk about it, because this is, if you looked at the bids, you see the delivery time on these. It's 30 to 36 weeks, and Ford can shut them off anytime for the next 4 weeks. And then you don't get anything until next year. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, normally we wouldn't budget for them for another month and a half or so. I just happened to talk to Joe Mockins, where we've gotten our vehicles for years and years. I had a question on one of the vehicles we got in October, and that's when he told me that they wouldn't be available once the budget year came around again to order like we usually do later in the year. So I went ahead and sent him bid paperwork and got back for one to want to replace Dave Waymeyer's animal control code enforcement truck. It's a 2011. So we're looking to replace that with a new one, and also one of the Ford sedans and go with Ford SUV because the sedans aren't available anymore. So we have to go to the SUV for Ford. You should have the paperwork in with everything. The only change on that would be the SUV. On his bid proposal form, he lists $35,580 for the vehicle without a trade. However, on the last page, there's some options that there's 3 that we absolutely do want to do that would take that total to $36,195 on that vehicle.
Okay. Oh. There were 3 or 4 of them on there. There's 4 of them starred.
Just 18X, 43D, and 76R.
Okay, you don't need.
We don't get key fobs with the patrol vehicles because they're all keyed the same. So they're interchangeable.
Okay.
And so you can't do that with key fobs.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for Mark?
You said how much would be?
36,195.
Sorry, good question.
Yeah, Mike.
I noticed the sedan that you're trading in. It's 2017 with 56,000 miles on it.
Correct.
To me, that's I don't know. I guess the question is there a problem with this vehicle? We just buying a new one because we can? That seems like a relatively new vehicle, 56,000 miles, 2017.
That's the oldest vehicle right now. Typically, you just start putting age on them, and you do get the engine idling. Steve and I have talked about some options for not trading that and possibly keeping it for training classes. So I think the trade is very low that they offered
I
us.
agree.
Basically two options on that. One is the chief and I talked about is keeping that and using it for a transportation one back and forth from Springfield or wherever they have to go. Now, when we take a vehicle over to get serviced in Springfield for radios, lights, any of that stuff, we have to take a patrol car. So we could take that one out of service as a patrol car, keep it as our administrative car. And the other option is putting it on an auction. We have a couple other vehicles, from Public Works that we need to auction, which would be both of those are a lot better than trading it in.
Well, we've talked about this, or I've talked about this for a long time. I still think that we can get more mileage out of these vehicles. We're trading them in awful early, in my opinion. And I'd like to see us stretch those out a little longer than 57,000 miles.
Well, it's going to have a lot more than 57,000 miles in the next 36 weeks. It's not like we're doing it tomorrow.
Sure. But, man, we go another
That's one
80,000
reason
miles.
why I wanted to keep it is that exact reason, is because it is not our typical, because usually we've been trading in, they've been 90 to 110,000 miles. That's why I would like to keep this one. It's still in pretty good shape, and it can get used. It can get used by
40 to
administration.
70,000.
Yeah. And taking it out of that daily rotation and making it into that type of a vehicle, we'll be able to hang on to it for a long time.
Any further discussion? Well, guys, do you want to approve the bids or not?
You're gonna get a crew cab?
Yeah, there's so much equipment that he's got to put in and out, and in bad weather, he needs to transport any animals in a cage. It's almost impossible getting in and out of that quiet cab that he's got that doesn't have doors on it.
I know there was a budget meeting earlier, or was there? I don't know. Did
Yeah,
budget
yeah.
talk about?
Yeah, we got enough, because 36 months, 36 weeks from now, there will be enough in the budget to pay for these, yes.
Make a motion, we accept the bids.
Second.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Bob McAfee to accept the two bids for the new police vehicles. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, right hand, same sign. Motion passes 5-1. Next is an emergency thing I signed for the sewer line that runs under, I guess it's 171, right?
It's actually runs.
Center Creek.
Yeah, runs underneath Center Creek, just on the other side of 171. And it's not for the emergency repair, it's for the investigation on it to make sure to get ace pipe in there. If we need them, is going to be higher than our $2,500 limit, so that's why we signed the emergency on it. Jay and the crew and the engineer are actually going to take a look at it Friday. Plug off the pipe, see if the flow stops, make sure we're not taking any water on from Center Creek. And then at that point, if that's the case, that gives the engineer enough time to get a project together where we can go out for bid on the repair on it. So what has happened is the line crosses Center Creek, and it was encased in concrete. It is now scoured underneath of it. So we have this line hanging there, which is what happened to the one a couple of years ago. During the flooding, trees come down through and it smacked the line and it broke it and took it off, and it was a really expensive repair for us on that one. Creek flows are low right now, where we would be able to get in there and get a coffer dam on there and get more concrete poured in there, get more riprap on there, and get it secured again the way it's supposed to be.
Does this line, the one that runs from Osceola?
Yes, it is.
What we don't want to do is procrastinate and have something happen and dump into Center Creek.
Yes.
If that happens, it's going to be extremely expensive with,
Then we're at a point of where we're paying
DNR.
time and materials top contract to get it fixed right away.
and you had an estimate on this, right?
No,
You didn't?
no.
For the evaluation.
Oh, for the evaluation.
Yes, the evaluation, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like $4,000,
It was
right?
$4,000.
Yeah, that's
for the
why
evaluation.
I did this, 'cause
Yes.
it was over the 2,500.
I was thinking the repair.
So I would appreciate you all approving my emergency declaration that I made.
So be it.
Second.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Bob McAfee to approve my emergency investigation for the Center Creek sewer crossing. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative with 2 absent. Thank you very much. I appreciate your trust in me.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, okay, next we have the administrative report. Any comments, corrections, or gripes for the city administrator?
Steve is out of the office, so I put together what I did. We may have more comments.
But yeah, because we didn't get the final ARP rules that will go in effect April 1st. And so, yeah,
Since this does mention the ARP rules, we had that list of projects. Is that still something that we will vote on at some point, or are those
yeah,
projects?
it's got to go through budget. Yeah,
Go through the-
it's got to go through budget. Yeah, that's will happen, and I guess they're gonna have a special budget meeting just on that, and then they have to add that into the budget for this year, and it'll be carried over to next year too, because we get funding again for next year. Yeah, so I mean, it's the projects that'll be in there for the budget.
We did receive in 3 bids for the trash. I've started going through those. I've got some follow-up questions out to all 3 of them. And I'll get those to you guys at the February 1st meeting.
Any other comments or questions for the city administrator? Last chance, guys, we're moving on. Okay, department reports. Well, let's just start with PD, shall we? I think we just had a report from the PD. He sent me a good one here. What's been going on? You guys read that? Any comments for the chief? Okay, very good. Got the building inspector's report here. We both got the monthly and we got the annual in your packet. So building inspector isn't here, but any comments about it? Anyone have a comment about it?
Roofs are still a thing.
Yeah, they were number 1 though. Number 1 was I&I stormwater. Nothing else, building inspector's report? Very good then. Move on to public works. Jay's here. Any questions for Jay? He finally got the leaves picked up.
I just have a question.
Yeah, Mike.
With the bids that we approved earlier for striping, Is that something that Public Works could purchase some equipment and take on for the future? It's just a question.
Paint machine is a whole lot more than that is. You better add a 0 to that for a paint machine to do the striping correctly. And that's basically the only road that we stripe. That's it.
Got a couple new employees?
Yep.
Good. Glad to hear that.
One of them lives here in the country club, and the other one lives in Joplin. They're both really interested in the water and wastewater.
Good. Good. I like that. Anything else for Jay? Very well then. Committee reports. Let's start off with budget and finance, shall we? Yes.
Yes,
The
we
honor's not
held
here.
a budget meeting this afternoon, at which time we reviewed proposed revenues for 2022.
Very good. Any questions for budget? Next, code and nuisance. Rick isn't here. How about Roger or Gary?
Nothing that I know of.
Nothing. Okay. Human resources, Roger?
The only thing we got is a closed session later.
Closed session later. Okay, very good. Public facilities, Bob?
Nothing at this time.
All righty. Senior citizens, Richard?
Don't have anything.
Gary?
No.
They stay open fully now
Yes,
for meals and stuff?
yes, they are.
Good.
That's good.
Very well then. This committee reports unfinished business. Bob?
I have none.
Gary? Roger?
Nothing.
I have nothing. Mike?
I have nothing, sir.
Mark?
I have nothing, sir.
No, sir.
Anything, Jim? Mr. Talley?
Nothing.
Lena?
No, sir.
Mary Beth? Crystal? Steve?
No, sir.
Holy cow. Mark? Jay?
Now, how'd you do that?
Steve was sick, that's why.
That's
Oh, yeah, Steve was sick. We got a new business. Jim?
No, sir.
Mark?
Nothing, sir.
Mike?
I have nothing, sir.
I didn't have anything, but I did see there was a deal that we got here and passed that swing about a clinic or a IV medical over in Webb City.
Yep.
And you can go there. They're at 115 North Madison Avenue. And they offer free rapid antigen tests, which deliver results in 15 to 30 minutes, as well as PCR tests, which take 24 to 72 hours. They're open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday. And they're the first COVID testing site to open in Webb City. No appointment or health insurance is required. Just thought I'd let everybody know that.
If you go, you better go early, because me and the wife drove by it the other day. They was from where they're doing it, all down around the old grocery store, back by the school, and around the other side of the block. I mean, they were double lines.
Yes.
I waited 2 hours, found out when I got up there that you got to go online and make a profile, patient profile.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that then.
2 hours.
So everybody you need to make a patient profile before you can go and get this free testing if you need to go. I just thought I'd bring that up. That's all I had. Roger?
Nothing.
Gary?
Just a comment that a resident had asked me about, something that had to do with the post office railing, which is not in our jurisdiction. But I want to praise them for getting it repaired the very next day and putting a request for regional to get it replaced permanently because it's been rickety. And so
Good.
I just want to praise our post office.
Okay. I like it. Anything else?
No.
Bob?
No.
Mr. Talley?
No.
Lena?
No, sir.
Mary Beth?
Yes.
Good.
Okay, so last meeting, we tried to move around some people on our signature cards,
Yes.
so we need to do that this time.
Okay.
What we're wanting to do is take Elena off the Shelby Courts account because that city clerk, she can't have access to it. But to replace her and then put me on it, because I'm coming off the city clerk to be the city treasurer as an additional signer as needed. So
All
we
right.
need to flip those around.
We need to do that on February 1st.
Effective February.
Effective February 1st, right?
Then we also need to take Ruby off of all the accounts and add Tracy as the board signature in case we ever need her. Effective February 1st.
Okay. So did everybody catch that? We're gonna take Alina off the court, put her on the checks. Mary Beth off the checks and put her on the court. No, put her
We're getting Elena off the court.
off the court,
Putting me on the court.
putting you on the court,
Taking Ruby off the checks.
Ruby off all the checks,
And putting Tracy on.
and putting Tracy on the checks in Ruby's place. Okay.
Yes.
Do I want to make a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion to take Elena off the courts and put Mary Beth on courts and take Ruby off the checks and put Tracy on where Ruby was.
I'll second that.
Good job, Mike. Good
All
job.
right.
Well, I'm glad you
Motion
can
by
remember
member,
all
second by
that.
Mark Sedley, to change all the checking signatures around as was explained by
Effective February 1st,
effective February 1st,
2022.
I'll second that.
2022, 12:01 a.m.
I'll second that.
We've already did that. It's already been seconded.
Well, good, we'll do it again.
Third.
So I guess we need to vote on it. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative, with none. You guys can take care of that, I assume. Right then, so it'll be effective on February 1st between now and then. Very good. Anything else? Crystal? Steve? Mark? Jay? Next on the agenda, we have a closed session. Closed session is going to be held in this room here, so I'm gonna, if it passes for us to go into closed session, I'm gonna have to ask all the rest of you to leave and wait out in the lobby till we get back into open session again. We're gonna get a closed session per Revised Missouri Statute 610-021, 3, hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting of a particular employee by a public governmental body when personal information about the employee is discussed or recorded.
Make a motion, we go into closed session.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Gary Stubblefield. This is a roll call vote.
Gary Stubblefield.
Yes.
Mark Sadler.
Yes.
Mike Burns.
Yes.
Bob Mackie.
Yes.
Jim Gozi.
Yes.
Roger Spencer.
Yes.
The vote was 6-0. We will now be going into closed session. Thank you all for attending the open session, and you're more than welcome to